Hey you, yeah you, have you watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners yet? Because if you haven't, you should. It is an amazing, a phenomenal anime on Netflix. And let me tell you about it. So I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers with this video, and it's gonna be really quick because this is off the dome, which I very rarely do, but I want to talk about it in a very distinct way so I can get my feelings out there about this show, because it's something special, but I haven't come to terms with why it's special. It's a show that after I finish watching, I'm still thinking about, and I don't know why I'm still thinking about it. And you know, that's one of those things that's a great takeaway from any piece of media you take is, are you still thinking about it after the fact? And yes, I was. And I'm sorry for my voice. I am sick, but I still had to make this video. I think one of the big contributors to me thinking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners after the fact is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is pulled directly from the game, but when you put it in the setting of an anime and actually have like story beats tied in with the soundtrack, it is just so much better. Like, there's one song, I think it's called like I Want to Stay at Your House. I'll play like a small clip of it.
So get away, another way to feel what you didn't want yourself to know.
But that song is on repeat in my dome 24/7, and I don't know why. Like, it is so good, and it specifically links into like the final scene of the final episode, and I think that's what keeps it coming back in my head, because I think about the song and it repeats in my head, and then I think about the ending of the show. And not to mention that I've gone back because of the anime and started playing Cyberpunk 2077 again, which I personally think is an amazing game, and you should try it out if you haven't so far. They fixed a whole lot, but this is an anime video, not video game video. But now I'm always on the radio trying to listen out for that song, because that shit is my jam. It's just good. Just like the entire soundtrack is fantastic. And I've spent long enough ranting about the soundtrack, and I don't know if I already said this, but I do apologize for my voice. I am sick. Hold on, I have to go poo. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I probably should have edited that out. That's a little bit TMI, but back on topic. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is being created by Studio Trigger, you know, the people who did Gurren Lagann and Promare. They have this very distinct style, and I think it works so perfectly for a cyberpunk anime, because what is cyberpunk besides colorful neon lights? And then you take Studio Trigger's very specific style of using like flat colors with vibrant colors, and so everything ends up looking amazing, and then you mix that in with like a neon color scheme and it's even better, and you take that and you animate it all, and you got Cyberpunk Edgerunners by Studio Trigger, and it is simply fantastic. Like, I can't get over how great it looks. Okay, enough about how it sounds and how it looks, but the story follows our main character David and this girl Lucy. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go into spoilers. I'm just gonna say those are our main characters. But the whole plot revolves around their relationship, essentially. The idea of following one's own dreams compared to what it is to live other people's dreams for them. It's very much about dreams. And how it all wraps up, it just feels nice. Now, some people might complain that it doesn't, but I think it does. And the ending was expected, but in a good way. I mean, I guess it's expected if you played the game, because there's a character that comes in from the game, and the main character and that character duke it out. And I mean, as soon as you realize they're gonna duke it out, you know the results of the fight, because you know what happens in the game. So the game kind of makes it predictable, but it doesn't make it any less satisfying to see it happen. A few things that it does touch on that I really like. So in Cyberpunk 2077, the game, it kind of, you get missions to go after people who are experiencing cyber psychosis, and if you stay out of like the logs, like you don't read any of those, the shards, you don't really know what cyber psychosis is. Like, you get a very general description of it. Cyberpunk Edgerunners takes that idea of cyber psychosis and makes it absolutely terrifying, and it's because it's happening so close to your main characters, which it doesn't do in Cyberpunk 2077. Like, you don't experience it. No one close to you really experiences it, so you don't know how terrifying it is, unlike in the anime. So it really does dive into the lore. It also makes that same character I was talking about even more terrifying, because you get to see, like, our main character is so strong, he's doing all of this stuff, and then this character comes in and he's just playing with them. Like, it really helps to kind of dive into that lore of the game, but you don't need the game to understand what's going on. Any characters that are introduced are essentially new characters. There's like a few name drops here and there, but you don't even need to know who those characters are. It's just, look, I could go on all day talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners, because this is one of the best things that Netflix has put out since, in my opinion, since Netflix's Castlevania, which I'm still waiting to come back. But regardless, it's amazing. It's amazing. And again, if I had to say one thing, it'd be to go watch it, Choom.